Welcome. Thank you so much for coming to our masterclass, our first one for 2022. Great to see all these shining, smiling faces. Let's give you all a high five. Everyone down here. Good to be here, guys. This is the first time, not only are we coming to you to Zoom, so a private room to all of you. We're also now streaming live to our YouTube channel. So if you hop over to our YouTube channel, you see us streaming live, also streaming live into our Facebook group. So we're doing a few things a little bit different this year. So not only are we coming to you individually, so you guys will have a breakout session, we'll do all these wonderful things. And so when we have thousands of people over here, the ones in the room get special treatment. And of course, there could be thousands of people watching in YouTube and watching also live in our Facebook group. So I want to thank you. Thank you for giving us a bit of time to get the tech right. And we got everything organised, but Murphy's Law, right? Even though you got everything set up the last minute, there's a button that's not working and everything you need to get organised. So I think we're all good to go. Let me get myself on this screen. And wow, it's great to see all these faces here. So let's say Happy New Year. I mean, it's February, with almost Easter's here around the corner. And when Easter's here, Christmas here, and we're in 2023. So when you think about it, I mean, a lot of you started 2022, you're looking forward to 2022, you're like, okay, this is going to be the year. Or, ask yourself the question, how is it going to be different for you than last year? You made that commitment and you made some decisions and you're making different choices to move forward in a different way. What's going to be different for you? And are you sure you let go of the past, let go of some old patterns? And who is deciding to show up for you in 2022? Because, hey, we're going to talk about it tonight. Because if you keep on doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep on getting what you've been getting. So either you evolve or repeat. And we're in this field of transformation, we're in this field of evolution. But you know what I've learned, and we're going to share with it, give you an overview, like we can share what we're going to share tonight is, what worked in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work in the future. We're in a new world, a new accelerated world. People are doing things differently. And maybe there was an old formula for evolution. Maybe there's an old formula for transformation. And I'm not saying we didn't get it wrong. We got it right for the moment of time that we were in. But as time grows and as we move on in time, and as we evolve our consciousness, then is it possible that we need to evolve the way we do things as well? So how can we evolve the formula that worked in the past? How can we make it work better? So guys, thank you so much. Let me make sure my slides are working. I want to welcome you. I want to congratulate you for being here in our masterclass. We'll open up the Zoom room just to get some feedback, and maybe someone can share one or two stories in terms of how the year's been so far and what they're looking forward to in 2022, and maybe share some wins. But before we do that, remember, every time we run a masterclass, every time we come into a live, the important thing is that you have a pen ready and a piece of paper. Always take notes. Why? Because there might be something that you hear, something that you feel, or something that you see within this audience, and maybe on the screen, that just connects with you. And even though you may have heard it before, you're not the same person you were when you first heard it. Wouldn't you agree with that? I mean, you're not the same person you were yesterday. So, people say, I've heard this stuff before. Well, if you've heard it before, how's it going for you? It's one thing in terms of having heard something or learned something. It's another thing in terms of applying it and integrating it and making it part of your life and imbuing it, embodying it. So we'll be talking about that. So always take notes. Esther's in the house. Esther, great to see you. It's been a while since we've seen your beautiful young face. Happy New Year 2022. I feel like we're going back to normal. Esther is here. So guys, what we might do before we get started, because obviously we have operational agreements. This is, we are streaming live. So we are streaming live to Facebook, we are streaming live to YouTube. So for some reason, if you get kicked out of Zoom or something happens, just hop into our Facebook community, Evolve from the Inside Out, or go to our YouTube channel. You can see up the top here, there's a little red button in the top left-hand corner that says live on custom live streaming service. If you click down that little button, it'll give you the web address of the YouTube channel. So if you've got a friend, if you've got someone who says, hey, you should check this out, just send them that YouTube link. They don't have to sign in, they'll just watch it live. So if you want to do that, we much appreciate that. And that's the way you can get more people involved with, I suppose, what it is that you're doing. And as we grow together and as we learn together, we can make a bigger impact with the work that we do collectively as a group. Because, for me, I think one of the lessons and one of the words that I want to be using for 2022 is collaboration. And to move forward in this new world, if you want to evolve, you need to start collaborating evolution. Not individually and putting your hand up and working with other people and being held accountable, but from a business perspective, how can you collaborate and get your message out from a bigger perspective? So, you know, this is part of our Evolution product. We've rebranded. There's a couple new faces or pictures on this screen. MBX Evolution, helping people to grow, bringing their happiness, their success and their wealth back in their lives. So who wants to share? Tell us what's been happening for you. Let's open up a microphone. Who wants to tell us a story? Anything that's happened to you so far in 2022? Anything, so get the ball rolling. Who wants to put their hand up and share? We got anyone? We'll start going to people soon. Let's go to Vanessa. I haven't seen Vanessa for a while. I've seen Vanessa on Facebook doing quite a few things. She's still in the van traveling. How are you, Vanessa? Great to see you.
Hi.
So where are you now?
At the moment, South Australia on the York Peninsula.
Awesome. Fantastic. It's great seeing the pictures and you and your family and what it is that you're doing, especially doing that body work on the beach with that table. It's like, man, if I knew that's where you're at, I might just go catch a flight and get to that beach and have a session with you. So what's been happening for you?
I don't know, so much. Just like traveling.
I mean, how long have you been traveling now? Is it close to a year that you've been traveling?
In May it will be, yeah.
Jeez, it's gone that fast. So what's the one big takeaway so far? Because you've been traveling Australia, you've taken the kids, your family, you're homeschooling, and they're learning as you go along. So what's the biggest takeaway that you've got having made that decision to go off the grid and maybe experience life in a different way for yourself?
I don't know. I absolutely love it. At the moment, I don't see myself settling down anytime soon. It's the best experience ever.
So what's the one takeaway? What's the one positive if you can share a learning to all of us in terms of what you've got from that experience? What can you share with us?
Oh, I don't know. There's too many.
Choose one.
Every place and every stop is just a new experience and new people and new everything. Learning every single day.
Which stop, as soon as we say stop, which stop comes into mind? Which stop pops in your mind right now?
Uluru.
Uluru. Okay, tell us about Uluru.
Watching sunset on Uluru was magical.
Wow. Some people say it's the heart center of the earth, right?
Oh, it was amazing.
So
amazing.
That's the beat of the plane. So great. Thank you for sharing that, Vanessa, and great to see you in the Zoom room and wherever we're streaming. Who else wants to share? Just give one more story. Why don't we go to Chantel? It's great to see Chantel in the house. She's been kicking some badass stuff, doing all these wonderful things with your new program, and great to see you shining a light and doing some wonderful things, Chantel. So what can you share so far for you in 2022?
Well, it's funny because yesterday I actually was thinking about you and I was like, I wish that Arthur did like a coaching room. I was really missing being in this space. And then today Dean messaged me. So I thought that was interesting. But what's been going on for me? Yeah, I just launched a new program. So I spent the summer, like I haven't been doing one-on-one work. I just spent the summer building a campaign and I've just created, so I've got my 6-week course for women, but I've just created a new one, which is a 6-month course. So that's pretty big. Feeling a bit nervous about it, but I'm also really excited. So that's kind of how I've kicked off my 2022. But that's really consumed all of my time. I've just come back into one-on-one this week. So. And
how do you feel, having the opportunity to actually sit down and do one-on-one? Are you doing it online, or are there people coming and visit you as well? Are you getting a chance to come and see you?
I mean, I've done a couple in person, but because I moved my business online during COVID, I prefer it now. So, so I've just been doing it online this week, and I'm actually so happy. I realized I'd been feeling a little bit purposeless, even though I was building a course. I was like, just feeling a bit like lost, because it's obviously really quiet for coaching over Christmas and New Year's. And I didn't realize why until I was back in the coaching room with clients. And I was like, wow, it was actually really good, because I was questioning. I was like, what am I doing? And then the second I started face-to-face again, I was like, oh, it reminded me, like, what actually fills my cup up in this role is coaching people. Like, that's where I thrive the most, is in that one-on-one.
Awesome. And I love what you just said, what fills your cup up. And I think also for 2022, all of us need to start thinking about what fills our cup up. What is it that we can do? Who is it that we need to be? What are the things that fill our cup up? We need to start looking after ourselves. We've gone through a huge planetary change, a huge consciousness change, a huge species change. And a lot of people have been on the fence with a lot of things. And I think now's the time that we start making decisions, start moving forward. And we're going to talk about it, adapting to the change. And I think it's the people who adapt the quickest, the ones who are most flexible, who are going to survive in this new world. So thank you so much, Chantel, for sharing. Great to hear your story and great to have you in the room as well. As we said before, guys, we are streaming live in the Facebook group as well as in our YouTube channel, but this is our Zoom room as well too. So if you've got anyone that you want to let them know about what we're doing, just hop into the top left-hand corner. There's a little live box there. Click it and you'll get the address for our YouTube channel. Send them there. And who knows? So guys, you know, this is our MBX Evolution product. For those of you who are new and those of you who know me, you know, over the last 3 to 6 months, we've been tweaking and evolving and making sure that we put together an offering with what it is that we do, everything that we've learned over the last 25 and 30 years in the field of complementary medicine, personal growth and human performance, put it together in a way that people can go on a journey with the MBX Institute. And essentially, this is what we have here. And I'll talk about this towards the end, but I want you to know that this evolution product, really, this is, you know, we have the evolution community on our Facebook group. And what we want to be doing this year is adding more value than what it is that we're doing. So the evolution really is a set of masterclasses, a whole range of products that we've put together, that we've recorded over the last year. You'll find out what it is later on. And it's a way where people can get involved with the field of personal growth, self-growth. You know what it is? The evolution really is the mind gym. It's the heart gym. It's your soul gym. So many people spend $80 to $100 a month to go to a fitness gym, to look after their health, their physical health, their body. And we know when you work out your body, you start to feel better. I mean, you hold yourself accountable, you start to feel better. When you're consciously doing things to actually become healthy, you do better. But when was the last time you did something consciously to expand your mind, expand your thinking? When was the last time you did something consciously to heal your heart? When was the last time you consciously did something to actually nurture your soul and nurture your spirit? And for me, the MBX Evolution is that. It's the mind gym, it's the heart gym, and it's the soul gym. And it's a program where we can come to you on a fortnightly basis with these masterclasses. And if you're part of it, obviously not all of them are going to be streamed live. Once a month we'll stream it, but the other one will be exclusive to the group. We've got a whole new program that we're releasing in the group, the Grow ThySelf Program. You'll learn about it later on, which is going to start 1st of May. And that's a 12-month program. It's a 52-week, I'm not going to say a challenge, it's a 52-week journey that we're going to take together. We're going to come to you every week with some tips and some accountability, some reflections. We're creating the MBX BookClub. We're going to give you a book review every fortnight of a book. So what would you be, where would your thinking be? Where would your knowledge be? Where would your conscience be if you read 25 books in 2022? You think about it. Well, I'm going to read them for you. I'm going to give them a summary. And if you like that book, go and buy that book, and we're going to talk about it together. We can discuss in our group. So this is what we're doing in our community. It's actually quite exciting, guys. So we want people to get involved. That's the evolution, the community. Of course, then we have our leadership with our NLP product, Mastery, which combines everything that we do, NLP, hypnosis, kinesiology, the accelerated transformational coaching process, which we just finished with the group recently, which was quite a special experience with the people that did that, and that's all recorded and people can access to, and of course our influencer program. This is the group, guys. So if you actually I think all of you are part of that group, so send your friends there. There's no questions to answer. Just select join and you join. You know, every time you join a group and you've got to answer all these questions and they let you in anyway, well, just let you in anyway. You don't have to answer any. It's like you want to be part of this group, come and be part of this group, and you'll get the lives and you get the chance to experience the Grow ThySelf program through there, which will start 1st of March. So let me ask you this question. We're in 2022. Let's get started. 2022. We're moving towards the light over there, right? So what are you envisaging your future to now feel like? If you wave that magic wand, what's the one feeling that you'd like to bring back into your life? What would you like to pull into your life? What's the one emotion? What's the one emotion that you let slide over the last 12, 24 months? Or the feeling that you let slide the last 12, 24 months that you'd like to bring back in this 12 to 24 months, just put in the chat, what's the one emotion? Let's see what you people say. Just type in the chat, what's the one emotion you'd like to experience more of? What is it that you'd like to have more of in your life? Love is saying, Michael C. Oh, that's why I love you, Michael. You put that word love in it. You just connect with me. Love again, Jan, great to have you in the house. I know you're on your phone there, but love as well. So love for Michael, love for Jan. Jan meet Michael, Michael meet Jan. Right? Okay. Right. What else have we got here? Freedom is saying Aaron. That's the gypsy in Aaron, right? The free spirit. So freedom from, so love and freedom. What else is important to you guys? So purpose is saying Christina. Jan saying hello, Michael. So you got to welcome there, Michael. All right, okay. What else? What are the emotions that you want to bring into your life that maybe you let slide over the last 12 to 24 months? Because if you are wanting to bring them into your life, I want you to understand this. If you want to have more of that, it presupposes that you feel you're lacking it now. It presupposes that there's a void of that emotion in your life right now. And that's what we ask the question, what did you let slide over the last 12 to 24 months? How did you do that is the question. How did that happen? What decisions did you make? What choices did you make that led to the experience of letting go of love, or letting go of confidence, letting go of worthiness, letting go of purpose, letting go of freedom? Because you're consciously and intentionally saying this is what you want to have more of in your life. Now, guys, this is the starting point, right? The starting point, if you want to evolve in the new world, we need to take responsibility where we are right now. We know that. We talk about that. But the time for the spiritual talker is over. I think we've seen, in my opinion, a growth of spiritual talkers over the last 2 years. So many people doing the spiritual work. They do the spiritual talk, but aren't prepared to take the spiritual walk. As soon as they hit an obstacle or a bit of darkness, they resort back to old patterns, old ways, and they think they got this. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. Awareness is the key, isn't that right? So many of us shy away from the obstacle, and I want you to understand one of the first books we're going to give you a review on is Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way. And that is the journey to freedom. That is the journey to love. That is a journey to confidence. That's a journey to trust. That's a journey to worthiness. That's the journey to purpose. It's the obstacle. The obstacle is the way. What's in the way becomes the way. Ryan Holiday. Actually, no, that's Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius' quote, what is in the way becomes the way. And we know it's simple. At any moment in your life, you're presented with two choices, guys. Evolve or repeat. It's simple. Evolve or repeat. And we're going to be sharing with you my ideas. We'll get feedback from you. If any of my ideas that you think, oh, wow, that's great, you take and you evolve and you add more stuff to it with what you've learned, that's how we grow. I'm all for you taking whatever we've learned and share with you and making your own. What have I done with everyone else's stuff? Everyone does it. That's what evolution is. That's what consciousness is. That's what knowledge is. I'm not going to say, this is mine, I'm going to keep it. Let's do this together, guys, collaboration. There was once a time I was on my high horse. I thought, no, I want to keep my stuff to myself. That was a long time ago. Well, it could have been a short time ago, but a long time ago in terms of my evolution and thinking, right? So evolve or repeat. And I mean, you've seen this slide before, right? Right now, we're in the present. There's no arrows in the present. The future goes that way, and the past comes from that way. But right now, you're in the present, and the present is the only moment that you have any control. The present is the only moment that you have any power. It's what we choose to do in the present, how we choose to live our life. Evolve? No. That's repeat. Evolve, repeat. But I want to share with you, I'm going to go into my slides here. I'm just going to do a lot of the stuff on here today, right? And if you look online and people talk about here's where you are now, right? A lot of people say, well, if you want to evolve, you got to do this. That's the evolution. Or when people repeat, they fall back into old patterns. Just need to turn this speaker down a bit. I'm just getting a bit of distortion, guys. The first thing, and I know you know this, but I'm not going to talk, I'm not saying let's move. A lot of people say, what is it you want in the future? So we take you out of the present. And we talk about what happened to you in the past so we can heal it. We take you out of the present. Do you understand the future is created in the present? And the past affects you in the present. The past doesn't affect you in the past. The future is not created in the future. It's created in the present. So let's change this. When we talk about evolve or repeat, automatically the arrows go this way. Because you either evolve in the present or you repeat in the present. We talk about setting goals in the future, and I get that. But what if your future was now? Why don't we set the goal now? If you have a magic wand, you can have one thing in your life right now. If you could describe to me your ideal life now, today, not in the future, now, today. So we can work out what you need to be doing today in order to bring that into your life, to pull it into your life. This evolution, guys, I'm going to show you a model, that's push. People push the square peg in a round hole. I get that. I've been doing that. I did a lot last year as well. Attempted to actually make something that didn't fit, as opposed to being the person that needed to pull it into me. So to create the vibration and frequency, so that alignment, if I'm aligned with the assignment, it just comes into my life. It's like a hand and glove. I don't have to push it. That's flow. And we get caught up with this past stuff. We end up going back there going, oh my God, this happened to me. And we're making decisions today based on the past. The past only exists in your mind. So the first model we want to talk about, when we talk about present and future, it's like you've got to work on becoming the person you need to become to pull your future into now. That's evolution, not you moving into your future. Because if you don't, you're bringing your past back into now. It's the rubber band effect. I want you to understand, imagine you've got two rubber bands. You either got a rubber band here, you're pulling your past back into the now, or you've got a rubber band here, and you're bringing the future into now. But your question is, if you had what you wanted to have now, who would you be? Why is that important to you? How would that make you feel? And what type of person has that? Be that now. And this will just come into your life. As opposed to hustling and grinding. The word hustle, for me, square peg round hole. Grinding, square peg and hole. Why does it need to be hard? It's not hard when you're in the frequency and the vibration of the event that comes into your life. Am I making any sense, guys? We haven't even started yet, but these are just some thoughts. So when we think about past and present, you know, I'm thinking, well, let's start looking at that a little bit differently. The present, the power of now, and I think that's what Eckhart Tolle was talking about. It's not like just meditate and everything's going to come to me right now. Meditation is important. Stillness is important. In fact, Ryan Holiday's latest book, we're going to give a review on that one. Stillness is the way. Wow. 3 books we're going to review. The obstacle is the way, ego is the enemy, and stillness is the way. We've got a whole list. We're going to be sharing that with you as we do that. The power's in the moment. So we want to be able to make this moment count. We never get this moment back. So ask yourself the question, okay, let's go back to the old model, because there's some things that work about the old model. What is it that you'd like to have in the future? Set a goal. I get that. We need to make it tangible so we can experience it. That's how experience in this physical plane, through our senses. So we take in that data and we give an interpretation so we know we experience something. So what is that you want to experience? Make it tangible. And I want you to understand the goal is not the goal. So the question is, you've got that goal, then ask yourself, what does that do for you? If you had that, what does it do for you? Why is that important to you? How does that make you feel? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know anyone today that has that? Tell me about this person today. What type of person has that? What type of person experiences that? What type of person has these feelings in their life? Tell me about the person. You know what your job is? Go to work to becoming that person. Not the goal. The goal is extrinsic. And it's there because it implies there's a gap missing, a void missing on the inside. And the only way you're going to pull that into your life is if you become that person now. So the goal serves as a destination point, because without it, we don't have one of the main universal laws come into effect. And it's called the law of precession. And the law of precession means this. I'll come back onto my flip chart. Law of precession means this. Here's where you are now. Here's your goal or your outcome. Now, once you actually set that, and it's important to actually write that down and clarify, once you set that, the law of precession says in quantum physics that automatically what is happening, a set of events actually lead you into this direction here. 90-degree turn. And this is the person that you need to become. And you realise that never was the goal in the first place. The goal was this, becoming the person. Because when you become that person, whatever vibration is aligned to this will come into your life. And whenever you become that person, you're in the now. Law of precession. Let me just get this F spot on my camera as the sun goes down, guys. I need to be changing this up here. You know, I'm here in Cronulla. I just got back myself. This is a beautiful spot here in Cronulla. I just got back as the sun sets. I was at Airlie Beach and in the Whitsunday Islands, and the exciting news is we'll be letting you guys know that we'll be running some retreats and some events up in the Whitsunday Islands on the Palm Bay Resort. It's all being organised, all right? And in a few weeks I'm flying off to Thailand, and we're going to be running some events from Thailand as well in Bangkok. So there's a lot happening for MBX in terms of how we're spreading. Esther, you said something to me at the end of last year. I took your advice. It's coming to fruition. I wanted to tell you. I haven't had a chance to let you know yet, but Esther, you slammed me, and I had to listen to her. So thank you. So anyway, that's where we are. Let me get back. You get lost in that view. All right, guys, so let's get started then. We're talking about either evolve or repeat. This is the masterclass. What we're talking about is evolving in a new world and discover the new formula as we talk about what worked in the past is not necessarily going to work in the future. And I want to share with you a model where we talk about, and this model, I'll tell you how this model come together. In this beautiful place of Cronulla, there's this esplanade. We go down here, actually all around here, and there's a walk that goes all the way down there. It's like this morning, it took me 2.5 hours. I did about 18,000 steps in 2.5 hours. So, but about a month ago, just a couple of weeks in January, I met a guy called Rocky. Actually, I met a girl called Cara, and Cara was just instant connection. Love that girl. A lot of conversation we had on this path. Cara introduced me to Rocky, and Rocky, Scolopetti, I was hoping he was going to pop in tonight, but I've got a video I'm going to show him. Rocky is a futurologist. He works in Canberra. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's written a number of books, and he's a keynote speaker. He's actually done keynote speaking for Kerwin Rain. He's K2 Elite. I thought, mate, are you serious? This is what you do? And I've got you in my backyard? And we go into each other's rooms and play video games with each other in terms of Zoom stuff? So I want to share with you some of the thoughts that I got from Rocky in terms of where he sees the future from a global perspective. Because he gives us a view from a global perspective what's happening in business, but that's a macro view. We can take those key points and turn them into a micro view. What do we need to know individually ourselves? And then we sat down because, you know, Rocky, and I'm sure he's going to be okay with me sharing his story. Like, he went through a similar story with me. You know, married for 20 years, separated with his wife. He wanted to find himself and follow his, sing the song which his heart was singing, and live the life which was important to him. And it was in January, and I was doing my little series on Facebook in terms of the things that you need to stop doing in order for you to be happy and successful in life. So I said to Rocky, so tell me, what is your secret to success? How did you go from the experience that you went through to be able to be so aligned, so happy, so just being the person that you are? Because, you know, like, I'm walking with you and just love being around you. And he said that, you know, the one thing that he did is he upskilled himself. He did an NLP course about 4 years ago. I thought, wow. He didn't know I taught NLP at that stage. But wow, it's what a connection, right? And he started meditating. He never meditated before in his life. He started meditating, connecting to his heart. And in the stillness, he was able to find peace and find his own music, his own signature. And we just shared all these ideas, and we started, and he sent me this little text about 2 weeks back, and he sent me this graph with, he just sent me a text. I said, I'm going to use your model tonight in your video. And he says, okay, go for it. So thanks, Rocky. All right. And he just gave me this graph I want to share with you, talking about victim and creator, and your best self, and your wounded self, and how we go through this process of healing, which is how he went through the healing process. And I thought, wow, it's a great model I want to share with you because it fits in everything that we talked about. So let's start, yeah? So let's get started. What are we going to start with? Let me get back into our slides. Let me start with what we finished off with, and I'm only going to spend 5 minutes on this. Our last masterclass at the end of the year was, well, we said thank you to everyone, we had a little Christmas party, but we also shared some 10 lessons that we learned in 2021. And I think it's important to reflect on those, because a lesson is only a lesson if you've learnt it, and if you've learnt it, you've applied it, correct? And so some of these, not some, all these lessons are important for us to keep on moving forward to evolve in a new world. So let's go through them quickly. Perspective. Yeah, we talked about the pale blue dot. 1971 Voyager looked back on the Earth and took a little picture. We're a little pale blue dot in the whole universe, and we make our problems a mountain of things. When you put it in perspective, things change, isn't that right? Hop in the elevator, vertical thinking we talk about, go up a couple of floors, look down at what's going on, you'll have a different perspective. Sometimes taking a different vantage point on your problem changes it. So remember perspective. Adopt the role model mindset. Take on the mindset that it's now your turn to, well, it's your responsibility to rise up and lead other people through this mess. People are looking for leadership. This is the age of the authentic leader. This is the age of the authentic influencer. And when I talk about an influencer, it's not someone who's got 1 million likes on Instagram. I think the digital social media space hijacked the term influencer to say, if you're an influencer, you've got 1 million people on Instagram. Because I know, you know, a lot of people have got 1 million followers on Instagram that no one follows. Just because you've got 1 million likes doesn't mean people follow you. And then you can have someone who's got 100 likes and make a difference with their message and their follow. Would you agree with that? So an influencer is someone who actually is able to change, make a ripple effect to change people's perceptions, their habits, their behaviors, their beliefs for the better through their story, through their learning. Judge less and feel better. Let it go. We don't judge people because our expectations aren't met. Expect nothing and accept everything. It's all about community, family, health is a priority. Collaborate, community and family. Stay connected with the people which are important. People are letting go of the people that are important to them. We don't do life by ourselves, we do it with each other, guys. Most people spend the first 50 years attempting to make a living only to lose their health, to lose their living, to regain their health in the next 50 years. So start optimizing your health and wellness. Start optimizing your energy. Energy is the one resource. If you've got that energy and that vibrancy, no matter what age you are, that's the X factor for many people. Confidence in your own abilities. It's the one belief system, and I learned that from Brendan Burchard. No matter what happens, you'll always find a way. It's part of your adaptability and your survival instinct. Darwinian law, right? Not survival of the fittest, survival, and not survival of the smartest. It's survival of the most flexible and most adaptable, right? Have the confidence that you will always land on your feet. Build what other people are sitting around. So many people have been sitting on a fence in the last 2 years. Start building and start focusing on the people who are deserving. We spend so much time attempting to get the validation, the acceptance and the love of people that don't even value you. And that's because that's a reflection you're not valuing yourself. The more you give them time and energy, you're showing that you don't value yourself. Would you agree with that? So I had a little formula. Who are the people that are deserving, in my opinion? Number one, work with the frail. Work with the people that need help. We're here to support each other, guys. Sometimes people just need help. My mother passed away last year and she was frail. And I look back and I realised there was many times I could have spent more time with her and I didn't. I thought she'd be fine. Work with the frail. Who else is deserving, guys? Work with the people who are coachable. Simple. If they're not coachable, you can't work with them. They're closed. If they're going to hop in the highest and think they know this stuff, they're closed. That's okay. I'm not here to judge. I'm just reporting. You can't work with anyone that knows this stuff. But as Bob Proctor said, the late Bob Proctor, who's just passed away, and I love his quote. He said that, have a look at your results. It tells me the truth about your life. So many people are spiritual talkers out there. They're not a spiritual walker. So work with the frail, work with the coachable, and work with the people who invest in themselves and invest in you. Because when people invest in themselves, they want to continue to learn, and they invest in you by giving you time. Work with them. Show up as a leader, which is a role model. As we said, it's now time for you to rise up. Listen to intuition, listen to your heart, listen to that gut instinct. Let go of your stress. It puts you in a less resourceful state, and then of course, always put your hand up for help. So that's what we talked about last year. So let me ask you, we're in 2022, where are you now in your life? Because we're going to talk about, well, let me do that now before we go into this. This is part of the old school of evolution, right? So, and we talked about this. This is a formula that we used. We shared this with people. We said, so what's transformation? If transformation or evolution was a equation, this is evolution, what is the equation? What are the steps? So we said transformation, evolution equals, remember this one, guys, awareness. Awareness is a key. But how many people do you know that they're aware till the cows come home and do nothing about it? Oh, I had such an awareness, I had this meditation, I had such a huge awareness. I went and had this session with that wonderful healer. I did this energy work, I got such a huge awareness, oh my God. But they're not really doing anything with their life. They're not putting it in play. So it's awareness plus something to create change. And the last part is the integration, right? This is the action. Awareness plus action, putting it in the mind and body creates change. But what needs to happen in order for you to put it in place? What's the missing link? What's the gap between you knowing something, you doing something that is the missing link in this old formula? And it works, still applies. It's your decision. You've got to decide. You have to decide to do it. Because so many people have the awareness and decide to do nothing. They think they know better. Spiritual talker. Not prepared to face the obstacle and go down the obstacle way or on holiday. Am I making any sense, guys? Do you know anyone like what I'm talking about? So you make a decision to face the obstacle and do the work that you need to do. But what type of work? But here's the thing. What does this presuppose? You decide to do the work. And that worked. I think maybe that was lower abstract. We're in the, let's say we're in the photon belt of change. Let's say we've got a lower abstract and a high abstract of that transformational formula. Maybe that's the lower abstract, because this is just the doing. How many people just became human doings? They just do, and forget that they're human beings. So if we have the awareness, we make a decision to change, but sometimes people just go for helpful leather, attempt to put a square peg in a round hole. That's our attempt to change. They may get a result, but they end up losing stuff. They end up having things go. So here's something I want you to think about. If you got a result in your life, some type of result, or you're able to achieve something, and for some reason you let it slide, or it disappeared, or you lost it, it went from your life, how did that happen? good news is that you're able to generate it and hustle it and push the energy and the vibration to create it. But you didn't become the person you needed to be to pull it into your life and keep it. It's one thing creating it, it's another thing keeping it. It's one thing making money, it's another thing keeping money. It's two different people. Would you agree with that? You've become a great person making money. How many people do you know make lots of money but they have no money? They haven't become the person they need to become in order to keep money. Esther's nodding head, she knows what I'm talking about. All right? So coming back to, so that's an old, I'm not saying old formula, it works, it still works. But I think it's quite apt, we need to define it more. What's this, what type of doing we need to do? And this awareness, I think there's 3 levels of awarenesses. We're going to talk about the wounded self, your best version of self, your wounded self, and also your mission self. How your mind, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind is part of divine mind. And that your mission lies in divine mind, in consciousness, and that's what connects us all. If your mission isn't to serve and to connect with other people, then you're just stuck in the polarity of self, your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. It's all about self, your best self and your wounded self. But you're still just one part of the whole. You need to go beyond self to connect to the divine mind. Right? So let's get back to here. So then my question to you is, what is it you want in your life? We've seen this slide before. Think about it. Have you written it down? What do you want in your spirituality, your career, your family, your relationships, your personal growth, your health and fitness? Are you doing, have you got clarity? Because if we're talking about awareness is the key, the first part of awareness is getting clarity in terms of what you want. A lot of people say, well, I don't know what I want. And as soon as I hear that, I know they're talking to me from their wounded self. Because they're not making space for their best self to come in. They're still in the polarity of self, but they're not making space in order to bring in the things that are able to help them express the best version of themselves. And they're not making time to think about it. Oh, I just want to be happy. Big chunk. Well, what does that mean? It's such an abstract thing. Well, what makes you happy? Well, I haven't got time to think about it. I just want to be happy. Spiritual talker. Right? So let's look at 2022. How would you like your life to be different in 2022? So think about these areas in your life. Because you want to create context, guys. Everything you want to do in terms of moving forward in 2022, you want to maybe nail it down to about 3 main areas. And the main areas that most people work with, we talk about health, relationships, and money and career, finances and career. Those 3 areas, 99.9% of all problems are taken care of when you take care of your health, your relationships. And relationships is one area in your life that you can experience the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, right? We don't do life by ourselves, we do it with other people. And of course, your career, your profession, how you add value and serve other people, and the income that you make doing that with dignity. And of course, the income that you earn is just a reflection of who you are and the minds that you've expanded, the hearts that you've helped heal, and the souls that you help nurture. As opposed to looking at how many numbers or how many zeros your bank account has, have a look how many zeros in terms of lives you touched. Once you measure that way. So what's your next step is a question. As we move in 2022, what's the next step? For me, your next step, your next level of success, it's simple. Your next level of success, guys, is your next level of ownership. And you've seen this slide before. But you need to start to own different things now. You need to evolve what it is you take ownership of. Now, maybe over the last 2 years, we've been forced with what's happened in the world and the planet and global change and whatever the case is, for us to take ownership of our shit. Take ownership of our crap. So we can change. Okay, good. We did that work, if you've done that work. For what purpose is a question. So we can live a better life now. But to live a better life now, we need to be future focused. To bring the future, pull the future into now. So what you need to own is your future. And how you own your future is by owning this present moment. How do you own your future? is by owning this present moment. What's the one thing that stops people from moving forward, guys? What's the one emotion? What's the one thing that I believe gets too much airplay and we give too much credit to? What's one thing that stops you in your tracks in terms of moving forward and experiencing the life that you deserve? Fear, says Anu. Thank you. Hit the nail on the head. Ain't I wanna. Anything else? But everything is just an expression of fear. Now, I believe fear, guys, is a new way of looking at things. Fear gets too much airplay. I was listening to a podcast the other day with Brendan and Michelle, and I thought, oh, I like this one, I'm going to share it. Fear gets too much airplay. What is fear? You know what fear is? Let's get to language. Fear is a what-if statement followed by a negative. What if that doesn't work out? What if he doesn't like me? What if she doesn't like me? What if I lose my money? What if it's the wrong decision? It's what if plus negative. And if you're doing that, guess what are you focusing on? The past. So the rubber band is bringing the past into the present. So what if you didn't go what if negative, what if negative, you went what if positive? What if it did work out? What if it is the right decision? What if we do grow with that strategy? What if the relationship does work out? What if positive? Let's get to this flip chart because it all comes together, guys. Actually, I'll bring this one back. This one fits. Because right now, because we talked about evolve or repeat, right? Not that one. You either evolve and repeat through the language that you use. So right now, what are you saying? What if? What if negative is bringing in the old pattern, correct? What if that doesn't work? What if, so fear, and I want you to understand, guys, there's nothing to fear other than a physical external fear. There's only two fears that we're born with, fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Every other fear is based on the stories that we tell ourselves. They're constructed from the stories and our experiences. And so what if it doesn't work out? We're thinking, we're fearing. What are we fearing? That something in the past is going to happen again. And because we focus on it, guess what? We bring it into the now. So if you want to evolve, guess what's the secret to evolve? You've got to make a decision. The only way to overcome fear is change your language, not to what if it doesn't work out, to what if it does work out. So your job is to become a possibilitarian. Possibilitarian. Robin Sharmaism. What if you touch the rim of the future with your thinking? What if you thought outside the box, started thinking exponentially as opposed to linearly, which is what served the world in the past? Am I making any sense? Because if that's the obstacle's away, and the way you do it is by being a possibilitarian. What if it works out this time? And what if my heart gets broken again? Well, reframe. Let's listen to Rumi. Allow your heart to be broken over and over and over and over until it remains open. Rumi. Isn't each broken heart leading you to the heart that connects you to the divine? Isn't that part of the journey? When you understand that, then you welcome the obstacle. You actually welcome the broken heart. You welcome the challenge, you welcome the adversity, because it's through the adversity you go. And in positive psychology, they call that adversarial growth. Do you understand? It's another book, I'm going to share that with you, right? It's not PTSD, it's not post-traumatic stress syndrome, it's PTG, post-traumatic growth. You grow from your trauma. Post-traumatic growth, it's called adversarial growth, quote unquote, in positive psychology. But when you're focusing on the what if negative, post-traumatic stress, and I get it. But how do you help people get over that? By getting them focusing on doing something in the future. You've got to get up and just have a shower. Get up and go for a walk. Get up and just go to the gym. You've got to get your mind off different things. The more you move and you're focusing on the next thing ahead of you, even if it's in like in an hour, you're not stuck in the past. Am I making any sense? And the more you do that, the more you create the neurology that it happens as an unconscious competent. Adversarial growth. So what if negative, what if positive? So evolve, possibilitarian. You become a possibilitarian. You pull life into you. You don't have to push it. So many people are focused on fear and are pushing a square peg in a round hole, hustling and grinding to avoid what happened to them in the past. So they're away from people. They're pushers. So if you're driven by an away from, you push life. But when you're driven by like a toward, you pull life into you. Push and pull. It's polarity. Interesting, isn't that right? You push people, run away. Become the person that attracts them, they come to you. It's clients, friends, partners, business opportunities, all in the same thing. So, how do we evolve in the future, guys? I'm giving you some ideas in terms of some models. How do we evolve in this? You know, what's the problem? The problem is, as we said before, old ways won't open new doors. We need to start looking at things differently. So I'm going to share with you a quick video, because we're going to start with the macro. What are some new things which are happening in the world today? What are some of the new technologies? What are some of the principles that as a business, and you're a business person, entrepreneur, how do you need to start looking at your business in the future and to evolve your business in the future? And then when we have those macro principles, how can we bring them into a micro level? How can we think about them for ourselves? So I'm going to share with you a video from Rocky Scolopetti. He just texted me saying go for it, so that's all good, right? I got his permission. And then it's only 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. He's a futurologist. He's done some work with camera and all, a keynote speaker. Been on TV. He's got a couple of books. And then we're going to talk about some key points. Is that okay, guys? And how we can bring them into our life. So I'm going to disappear from me, and I just want to give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio, all right? Because I want to make sure you can hear the audio as I do. So I'm disappearing. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Hello and welcome.
Can you hear it?
Rocky Scolopetti, futurologist.
This is Rocky.
Professor, Chief Scientist and Board Director. This presentation is about the fourth industrial revolution, a world where neither age nor size or reputation guarantees your organisation will be around tomorrow. This revolution is coming whether you are ready or not. This revolution is characterised by emerging technological breakthroughs with potentially highly disruptive effects. Technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things or IoT, autonomous vehicles, virtual, augmented and mixed reality, 3D printing, biotechnology, nanotechnology, renewable energy, 5G mobile networks, satellites, space technology, quantum computing and so many more. While our traditional linear view of the future may have served us well in previous industrial revolutions, they're unreliable predictors of success in our future. We need new exponential thinking about the needs of societies, value creation, behaviour of markets, and economic performance, or just survival in the fourth industrial revolution, which is unfolding this decade. As technology is so intertwined with our life now, this presentation will lift you out of your comfort zone and engage you on, firstly, how emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, automation, and the many others will fuse our digital, physical, environmental, and biological worlds, resulting in a fundamental shift in the way value is created. Secondly, the need to move away from linear thinking to exponential systems leadership thinking. This is described as cultivating a shared purpose for change, collaborating with all stakeholders interconnected into a global society and executing in an agile or adaptive manner to garner the system's benefits. Thirdly, a look into the new industries that will emerge this decade resulting from these major technological shifts and their impact on smart cities, the future of work, or life expectancy itself. And lastly, the skills revolution. As the fourth industrial revolution runs on knowledge, we need a concurrent revolution in training and education to deliver the new skills to the industries new and old in the right supply and at the right time. I look forward to tailoring this presentation to make your event insightful and successful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's my friend Rocky, right? And he lives in Cronulla, over there, or actually over here, on Arthur Street. So his apartment's on Arthur Street. Get that? It's quite funny, right? So anyway, let's get back to here. So what's your takeaway? Because this is from a global perspective, right? We're talking about from an industry, a perspective, a global perspective, but also when you bring it down to the micro level, there's some great takeaways for the individual here. What are some of the things that you took away, guys? What are some of the key points? In terms of if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business, you're involved in the new world, because it means your business is only a reflection of you. So if your business needs to go down that way, you need to go down that way, right? So what are some of the points? Just put in the chat. Let's see what some people say. What are some of the points that came up for you? Some key points. Let go of old ways, Dean. Yeah, absolutely. Open to change, Anu. Yes. Have to be open to change, let go of new ways. If you want to evolve in the future, you have to do it differently than before. Evolve, not catch up. Jan, spot on. Emerging technologies, Aaron. So what's an emerging technology? What are some emerging technologies for you to be able to evolve? What are the things that you can plug into? And many of these emerging technologies are ancient principles, which are just coming into play now. People are starting to find out, right? Okay, so all these things, let me share with you what I thought. Here's the first one. Age, size, reputation doesn't guarantee your success as a business. Doesn't matter how long you've been in business. Doesn't matter how big your business is. And it doesn't matter what reputation you have in your business. It doesn't guarantee your success. Because I know you know a lot of people have been in this business for a long time, have big businesses and a good reputation, but they're stiff and rigid. They're so big they can't move. Do you understand? They don't have that adaptability and flexibility. Same as you. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter how big and strong you are. Doesn't matter what you have on the wall in terms of certificates or the reputation that you've created. It's your character that counts. What's going to guarantee your success? You do, not all these things. Exponential thinking versus linear thinking. So it's no longer the 1 + 1 = 2. We've got to think 1 + 1, well, that equals 11. How does it equal 11? Just put 1 and 1 together. It's 11, isn't it? Why don't you just take out the plus sign? What do we have to do maths the old way? What if 1 and 1, the girls are laughing, right, Vanessa? I think that's how we do maths. Right? What if it could equal 11? That's exponential thinking. For us to evolve in the new world, you need to start thinking exponentially. Just because it didn't work for you in the past doesn't mean it's not going to work for you in the future. What could be a different way? You've got to think outside of the hexagon. You've got to realize there is no box. So this is lateral, not only lateral thinking, this is critical thinking, and beyond critical thinking, exponential thinking. Rise out of your comfort zone. Right, you talk about you need to lift out of your comfort zone in order to sustain and stay in your industry. So if you stay within your comfort zone the way you did things in the past, it's like us, mate. We're stretching ourselves. Man, who thought, Dean, we're going to be going streaming live in YouTube and streaming live in the Facebook group while we're doing this Zoom? That's the stuff Tony Robbins does. Other than him, I haven't seen anyone else do a Zoom and stream it, other than the big boys. So let's start doing some of those things. It stretched us, but we're learning something new, right? So how can you get outcomes that add value, guys? It's a business that continue to add value. Thinking exponentially, they're going to sustain growth. So how can you add value with who you are? Add value in every conversation you have. Every time you meet someone, how can you add value? When you focus on the other person, when you meet someone, say, hey, make them the center of your attention. Now, I get, we come first, we have to look after ourselves. It's not about being a people pleaser. It's different. So many self-love movement people get on their high horse and say, no, I'm putting myself first. Really? Then live on the planet by yourself. Go live on an island. Well, I've got an island to live on. Now go live on an island and maybe get a volleyball and call it Wilson. Right? So I get self-love. You need to look after yourself. But the reason you need to look after yourself is so you can be able to share your spirit, share your energy, share vibration with other people. And serve. That's your mission self. Sometimes so many people hop on the high horse of self-love, and I think there's a great book you got to get from, we'll review this one too. It's from Gary Bishop. It's called Unfuck Yourself. You got to read it. Lucy, you'll love that one. It just straight through the eyes just tells you how it is. And he talks about some people in that movement that act in random abandonment and reckless abandon, he talks, getting on their high horse and putting themselves first and discarding everyone else. Energetically, what are you saying? You're getting people to discard you. I'm not saying for you not to love yourself. Love yourself. But if you really love yourself, you'll love someone else, not discard them. Add value. Systems leadership. It's all about systems. How can you systemize? So it's structure. So I get being in the moment and just go with the flow. I get go with the flow, but you could save time. You can create efficiency with structure in your household. I mean, mothers know this. You have a structure with your kids in the morning. You have a system with your kids in the morning. Preparation, get them ready for the activities for the day. And of course, the last thing we've got here is upskill yourself. You need to be continuing to learn. They're my takeaways. And if you want to evolve in the new world, you need to take them, and not only from a global perspective. If you're building your business, you need to think about this in your business. And I want you to understand the only way your business will be this is if you are it. There's no such thing as a business problem. No such thing as a relationship problem. The only problems we have are personal problems. Your relationship is a reflection of who you are. Your business is a reflection of who you are. Your health is a reflection of who you are. Your bank account is a reflection of who you are. Your spiritual connection is a reflection of who you are. Everything is a reflection of who you are. And the biggest takeaway is this: adaptability and flexibility. And we learn this, like in NLP, we have a presupposition, and the main one is behavior flexibility, right? The person who's most flexible influences the system. So get this, guys. If you guys have learnt this, and you know this, and you come across a situation, could be a business discussion with a contact, a friend, or a personal or intimate, I don't know, but you get into communication. It's all about communication. It's an interaction. We do life with other people. And you get into a heated discussion. Now, you've learnt this and they haven't learnt this. Who's got the potential to be more flexible here? You. And if you're not, you haven't learnt it. You're a spiritual talker. You'll say all the right things. You'll come across to the world that you're such an evolved being. And you'll go home and you'll complain. You'll go home and you still point the finger. You go home and you blame the whole fucking world for your shitty life. How many spiritual talkers do you know like that? As opposed to embracing the world for the beautiful life, if they're such a spiritual being. And now I can say that because I was one of them. I can point the finger on me. And I know what it's like. There comes a time to actually walk the spiritual way as opposed to talk the spiritual way. Face the obstacle and go through the obstacle as opposed to avoid the obstacle. Avoid it is your ego. Your ego is avoiding the challenge. Your ego is avoiding the obstacle because you think you know better. The ego is the enemy. That's the only enemy you have. And the one lesson we need to learn is humility. And maybe only learn it when life smashes you in the face. Am I making any sense? Or am I just talking to myself? Maybe it's something I need to hear. Everything I say is something I need to hear, but anyway. So when you think about that, guys, we've talked, like in here with the MBX Institute, I'm not going to go through this because we have other videos for this. You know, we have our systems. We talk about bringing the ancient ways into modern ways and systematizing your growth and your evolution, how you evolve as an influencer. We have our R3 protocol. How do you rewire your brain? How do you go from being reactive to resourceful by rewiring your brain? How do you go from being run down to re-energized? You need to reset your mind and body. Now, how do you go from ruminating and stuck in your head to actually being re-engaged in life by redefining yourself? That's how you go from being stuck to flourishing. And if you haven't seen that yet, we did a 3-part series just a couple of weeks ago, 3 half-an-hour videos. Just subscribe to 3majormoves.com and you will get those videos sent to you so you can watch them. And we've gone through that before. We've gone through this model, guys. I'm not going to go through it in detail today. We've done it before. It's in one of those videos. It's ancient systems, but this is really the way. It's the obstacle is the way. And unless you live it and experience it, I can tell you my own personal experiences. Because we know this is the beginning of something new, the wood phase, your vision, your vision, you get excited, a new way, new possibility, and you move up to the upward surging phase. Right? You set your goals, you set your outcomes, you want to go out and make a difference. You're being conscious here. You've come up in the conscious mind with a whole new vision, a whole new way of thinking, and you're being conscious by going out and being proactive, and you start doing the work in order for you to get the result. And you keep on doing this. You're being conscious. You keep on doing this. You stay connected to your vision, you get excited, you keep on planning and moving forward, you're possibilitarian, fires are being possibilitarian, and you do the work that you need to do. And guess what happens? It's the honeymoon period Bruce Lipton talks about. That's conscious mind, right? That's your best self. We're going to add another model to this. That's your best self. And as you do that consciously, you're in your best self because you're living intentionally and purposefully. But there comes a time then you get the result that you want and you think, I arrived. And guess what happens when you think you got what you wanted? You take the foot off the accelerator and you stop doing all the things that you did that got you there. And so you deal with this consciously, and as soon as you get the result, guess what? Stop. And you start to live unconsciously, and your old patterns come up. You start to break down. Because we think we dealt with them. We didn't deal with them. We just learned to live with them by living above them. And when you stop doing the work to live above them, guess what? You live in them. How great is it to know that they're there? Because that is the contrast frame, comparison frame for you to live up here. But so many people live in the wounded self down here, which is the unconscious mind. This is your best self. Your best self is your conscious self, not your unconscious self. You're living unconsciously now. It's your wounded self. You're making decisions from the victim in the past. And your body breaks down. And you've got to face the fear and let something go. Something needs to come to an end, an old way, in order for you to rise up in the wood again. That's a system. It's something that you go through. You can't avoid those 5 steps. So what is it that we can do to be conscious? Because this is all awareness, isn't it right? The awareness of what you can do to be conscious. And I know, I'll tell you my personal story last year. I was conscious. I was journaling some things about myself. What are the things that I need to improve myself? How can I actually become a better being? So I can have better communication with people and different, better with my friendships and my relationships and my siblings and everyone else. What are the things which were triggering me? Because that's the obstacle, which is the charge. I was journaling it. And what was triggering is every time that I thought I was losing control, I didn't know what was going on because of the uncertainty, that was a trigger for me. I needed to do whatever I can to gain certainty. So I tended to push a square peg in a round hole. I hustle and grind to get certainty. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And so I didn't realize that's a blind spot. It's a fucking blind spot. And so I was challenged to journal it. I journaled it. I journaled it every day. Every day I wrote down what triggered me today, how I acted, how I'd rather act, and I finished off by saying, I, Arthur Bablis, am more than that. I'm an ultimate being of light. I wrote that in my journal every night. So guess what I did? I was conscious. I was conscious of my trigger, and I was writing down what I would do different. So energetically I was changing, isn't that right? Energetically I was presenting next day as a different being because I actually put that intentionally. And so space of, I don't know, it was 35, 33 days or something like that, bang, doing that consistently, I achieved something which was important to me. Guess what? I arrived. And the moment I achieved that, which was an awesome experience, guess what I did? I stopped doing the journaling. And when I stopped doing the journaling, I went back into my old patterns. So the very thing that I brought into my life, I let go. Because I didn't become the person to maintain it. Am I making any sense? There's my biggest lesson for 2021, and to bring that into 2022. So as we look at that, so when we're talking about evolution in a new world, let's share with you some models that we just talked about, because we gave you this model, and I talked about the best self, like this is your conscious best self, and your wounded self. And I want to give you a different model about this, because I was watching another podcast about a month ago, and it just all came together in terms of what is it, and it fits into this model, guys. And I want you to understand that, just give me a second, guys. So if I put the flip chart, I'll leave that there. So, here we go. Lighting's still good. All right, so let's have a look at this. You've seen this diagram before, right? We have here the conscious mind, and we have here the unconscious mind. Remember this diagram? Now this is you, this is self. This is, let me get my, in the unconscious mind, which part of self lives there? It's your wounded self. In your conscious mind, which part of self lives there? Your better self. So this is your higher version of self. This is your wounded self. Most people live in the unconscious mind, right? They live from their wounded self. They're making decisions from their wounded self, as opposed to their better self. This is the victim. This is the person that keeps on pointing the finger. And you know they're talking from the wounded self because they say, I can't do this, I can't do that. And the word can't implies that something is stopping you. I can't because. That's the language, right? I can't because. How's that lighting there, guys? I can't because. And the because is a cause and effect. They're at effect. They're blaming someone or something else that they can't do something. It's not I can't, I won't, I choose not to. That's more empowering. It's a choice. That's okay, you can choose what you want to do. But when you're pointing the finger and blaming someone or something else, that's your wounded self. So this is the person that is facing fear. It's the what if it doesn't happen. What if negative, right? And so they bring back into the now their past. Your better self, right? Your better self is your conscious self. This is a part of you that says, you know what? We do the work. Let me give you another name for this, and you'll like this. Because I know you hear this. People say this, right? It's all about what work? Which work? Put in the chat. What work is most important that you need to do? Let's see. The inner work, says Anu. Correct answer. If you're just doing the inner work, you're a spiritual talker. Because how many people just talk about the inner work? The only way out is in. What if the only way in was out? The only way in the game of life is the outer work. What if it's both? Because this is the inner work and this is the outer work. Would you agree? But some people just do the inner work, they get into the yin, the feminine, right? And you just got to do the inner work, man. You just want to feel unconditional love and just feel it, man. So it's awesome. And I get it. It's warm, fuzzy. It's healing. But if you don't do any action outside, if your body doesn't move, you're not going to integrate it, make it, create that neurology within your body in order to manifest something. Things just manifest just by you thinking it. You actually have to put something out. You have to put an output to get an input. So the outer work is journaling. You have to journal. You can't just think about, you can't just tell people you got to journal and you never journal yourself. How many spiritual talkers tell people to journal and they've yet to journal themselves? And I challenge you, you've done a lot of training with us. Have you done all the homework? All the tasks and all the different coaching programs that we've put together, accelerated transformation coaching, everything else. And I'm not here to judge, I'm just reporting. The outer work is doing the work. People say, no, I've got to do the inner work, yes, I've got to heal myself. Yeah, but that's the young boy and the young girl that still needs to be healed. But you just need to get out there and get your feet wet. Tough Mudder. And you know what? That makes you feel better, which gets you to do the inner work. Which one comes first? Here's an example. You could be feeling pretty lousy, not motivated, depressed, stuff's happened in your life. It's what most people do. Retail therapy! Why retail therapy? What does retail therapy do for you? You go buy a new pair of shoes, you go buy a new pair of jeans, you go buy a new top, you go and get your hair done, and what do you automatically feel? Better. Because you put your shoes on, you put your jeans on, and say, oh, I feel good now. So something outside of you made you feel good, isn't that right? You did outer work. Retail therapy is outer work, understand it. It's valuable. If it gets you to feel good about yourself, then you need to harness that energy to continue it. But some people just keep on doing the outside stuff to feel good on the inside. Like you create a spark, you rub the sticks together to get the smoke going, and you're starting to feel better, then you continue with the inner work. Sometimes the outer work stimulates the inner work, and sometimes the inner work stimulates the outer work. But I tell you what, you got to do both, guys. So I want to give you this model because people say consciousness is awareness. Now I agree, but awareness on 3 levels, not 1 level. So let's say we had the diagram of awareness. Let's call this awareness. There's awareness of your better self. That's your conscious mind. That's you doing the journaling. That's you doing the activity that you need to do. Your rituals, your morning rituals, your nightly rituals that you do every day that you become unconsciously competent in and become part of you. You've got the awareness of your wounded self. And the awareness of your mission self. Now, where's your mission self? Because I want you to understand, while you're in the wounded self, you're a victim. Are you with me there? You do the work and you say, who would I, if my best version of myself was standing right next to him, putting the hand on my shoulder, well, how would I do? What would I do here? How would I be different? So you consciously think about how you can be better here. So you go back to this diagram here, right? And we're living up here. This is your better self. You're very clear with your vision. You're upward surging. You've got your goals in place. You know what you're doing. You're getting up in the morning doing exercise. You're doing your journaling. You're very clear in terms of what you want to be. You're prim and proper. It takes you longer to get dressed when you go on a date because you want to make sure you cross the T's and dot the I's. Right? And you're doing all the work that you need to do in order to achieve the outcome. It's your best self. You're living life in your honeymoon period, according to Bruce Lipton. But when you're down here, because you got what you got, are we there yet? You know what? Live life in a way that you're never there yet. Live life with uncertainty. Because if you can accept uncertainty, you accept the flow of life through you this way, and accept that the obstacle is the way, so whenever you have to go down there, oh wow, what an opportunity. Here comes my next stage of evolution. And like a snake needs to shed their skin every month, the same way you need to shed your stuff in order to evolve to your next level of thinking. But if you keep on holding your stuff, you'll never evolve. So if you avoid the obstacle, you never evolve. Embrace it. Don't surrender. My view is people say you've got to surrender to it. I get what you mean by surrender, but implied in the word surrender is giving up. People say surrender isn't giving up. Well, have a look in the dictionary. I get what you mean. It's not surrendering to something, it's embracing it. It's pulling it into you, not giving into something. Imbue it, as Brendan Bouchard says. So your mission self, guys, I want you to understand, if you're coming from a victim or coming from better self, the polarity is still a part of self. You're still focusing on you. Do you understand? You're focusing on the victim self, my wounded self is speaking out, or my better self is speaking out. Now, if this is your mind, and you're a micro aspect or a hologram of the universe, what's the number one hermetic principle or universal spiritual law? The law of mentalism. The divine mind, correct? So if we said the divine mind was out here was the divine, or how do you spell divine? Divine mind, right? Divine mind, which is universal mind, consciousness. And your mind of self is just one part of the global mind, universal mind. Fair comment? So which means you are a hologram of everyone else. So you have everyone else in you. So how can you not have a vision or a mission to make a difference and serve other people? If you're just making about you, the victim, or me being my spiritual self, I'm the spiritual talker, great, I'm doing the work. But what's the next level? The next level is transcend self. And there's a great book called Transcend, which we're going to do a review on that one as well too. Transcend self, and this is where your mission lies. Your mission self. And then you're driven by purpose. You're driven with a mission. You're driven because you want to make a difference. Because I want to come back to this, and you're going to get this, guys. Is that clear? Is that it's not necessarily new. You've sort of probably heard this stuff. It's put together differently. Would you agree? Let me come back to this. So we talk about in the now. People are, what if that doesn't work? Fear-based. What if it did work? If you're going to evolve, you want to pull your future into you by being possibilitarian, as opposed to pulling the rubber band effect, bringing your past back. This is past, the victim. This is past. This is the future, evolution. This is the creator. You're the creator of a life that you want to live. Do you want to be victim or creator? Right? And so we said there are only two natural fears, fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Or a physical fear, like a danger. If there was something dangerous, that's a fear. I get that, right? But let me ask you this. If that's the case, How is it people overcome a physical fear? How does a fireman run into the fire? How does a soldier go on point and jump on a grenade to save their buddies? What drives them? What is big enough for you to overcome a physical fear? You know what's big enough to overcome a physical fear? A mission, a purpose. The only reason you are what if negative, you've disconnected from the Creator. You've disconnected from your purpose. And you hear people say, I don't know what I want. I don't know what my purpose is. And then you know they're coming from the wounded self. They might have the thinking, they've done the training, and they've done all the thinking, they do the spiritual talking, and the hustle, 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 square peg, round hole. But they haven't let go of the wounded boy and the wounded girl. They're still making it about what happened to them. Not consciously, but unconsciously. It's the wounded self that still needs to be healed. And I get that. But you choose to bring it back into the present, or you make it the fuel for you to actually bring the future into your present. So then how do you do that? How do you find something which is bigger than your physical fear? What would you need to be getting in your life? What would something need to mean for you to walk into a fire? Think about that. What would something need to mean for you in order for you to jump on a grenade? Have you got something in your life that powerful that pulls you into being the person you need to be, and you pull stuff into your life? Because if you don't, you're disconnected. So the journey is to connecting with that Creator within. Am I making any sense? Is this useful stuff, guys? Yeah, let's see what some people are saying. Passion, saying Lucy. Yeah, I get that. There's an interesting book talks about passion. Is passion or purpose, is it the same? Read As a Man Thinketh from Viktor Frankl. There's a lot of passionate people. I was passionate too, still am. Some people said my passion was a bit angry. That's what Esther told me, right? What's the difference between passion and purpose? Is there? I don't know. It's different for different people. But I tell you how you find that out. It starts with this. It comes down to transformation, awareness, but it's a decision, not just to do the outer work, but the decision to also do the inner work, heal the wounded self, because this is the inner work. This is the outer work. That's still on self, right? The inner and outer work is with relation to self. But you know what? What's the mission self? Is the global work. That's the global impact. That's the ripple effect. And don't kid yourself, you're here for that. That's your calling. That's what you're destined for. Global work. But you can only get there once you've taken care of the inner work and the outer work. And you do that together. What comes first? You do that together. You don't avoid one because of the other. I'm not saying inner work is more important than outer work. Outer work is, the people who are doing the outer work more important than inner work, well, you know where they're at. So let me give you a model. One last model that puts this all together, and we're going to give you a quick little breakout room to ask yourself some questions and finish up. How are we going, guys? Probably about another half an hour. Is that okay? Because we started at 1:45, given our technical challenges. So still a 2-hour session, but we started a little bit later. So let me put all this together. Just give me some feedback. What are you thinking about what we're sharing? Let's see just what you say in the chat. I'll get this ready. Let's see what people are saying. Any sharing for me? Just looking at the chat. Okay. Some people are typing. It's not coming up on the screen. All right, here we go. Passion, we've talked about passion might create purpose. Okay, anything else? Nothing's coming up. Oh, here we go. No, still nothing. All fine, saying Christine Taylor. Thank you, Christine Taylor, for the all fine. All fine, all good. All bets, all good. Okay, let's pull it in. Let's start again. Next thing. All right, let me go into this model over here. And you're going to like this one. It puts it all together. We live life in 4 quadrants, guys. Okay. Our journey is to go from victim, to go from wounded self which is the unconscious mind, to our better self. Which is the conscious mind. So, that's your unconscious mind, conscious mind. And on this axis, our journey is to go, well, this is the past and this is the future. We want to evolve, so we want to evolve here, or we repeat here. Right? Here's the middle. It's a point of dissonance. This is Rocky's model. It's called a dissonance point. How do you create cognitive dissonance through this process? Now, this is the past. The past, you're stuck as a victim. Over here, you're creator. So your journey is one of these 4 quadrants. Because if you're in this quadrant, if you're living life here, so at any one moment, when you think about what's going on in your health, your career, your relationships, think about the areas that you want to work with. If you're living in this quadrant, you're living in the past being a victim from your wounded self. So you've got victim thinking and old programming that's controlling you. Am I making any sense here? So this person here, guys, this person's got low quality thinking because they got victim thinking, and low action because they're their wounded self. This person ain't talking and this person ain't walking. They're just complaining. And there's different expressions of them. Some are up here, some are real down here, right? Some might be, you know the ones I'm talking about, right? And I think all of us, transformation or deep healing. When I say deep healing, soulful healing. When you've been hurt deeply at a soul level, it gets you here. It's enough for you to stop in your tracks. You lose faith in everything. Your thinking goes out the window and you just blame the world. Have you been there before? I have. I think that's a starting point. So let's call this quadrant 1. And so you hear something, someone tells you something, you do something, and the only way that you change, you start by changing your thinking, right? So you might do a course. You learn something. And so you move into quadrant 2. So your thinking improves. You're now speaking from your better self, but you're still living in the past. You know those people? Spiritual talkers. They're speaking the work, they're speaking the better self, they're talking about what to do, but they're not doing it themselves. They're still blaming their life and other things in the past, but they're telling other people to do what they're not doing. And I get that too, because you can change your thinking, but unless you heal the boy, you sort of just move the polarity. You're still stuck in victim, but you just move the polarity of the thinking. So this is the high thinking, low action. This is a spiritual talker. Oh, sorry, a spiritual walker, my friend. Oh, sorry. No, this is a spiritual talker. This is a spiritual talker. Not the walker. But then you get to the point you think, hey, I've learned this stuff, I've got to put some stuff into action. I've done the inner work. So, I'm doing the outer work here. I'm saying it, but I haven't really done the inner work. So let me dive into the inner work. And guess what happens? People dive into the inner work, right? But things don't happen for them. They stop really doing the outer work. You know the people who, when they come down in this quadrant, this is quadrant number 3, they're thinking, they've stopped doing the outer work because they're now doing the action that they needed to heal the wounded child. So these are the people that they're doing the stuff, but it's not working for them. They think, man, I've done everything. How come it's not working for me? It's working for everyone else. Why isn't it working for me? Because so these are the people, and this is where I was. It's like you attempting to push a square peg in a round hole. The person is doing all the action, but they're not aligned, they're not congruent. You know the people that do all the work, but you could just know they're not congruent with their actions? They're not aligned, like they're not aligned with their assignment. So there's something missing. They're somehow disconnected. And ultimately, you get to quadrant 4, where you're coming from creator, right? And better self. So this is high thinking, high action. Spiritual talker, spiritual walker. So here's the journey. You ready, guys? It's a figure 8 infinity symbol, or a butterfly. Because once you've arrived, guess what? You've got next level consciousness. And for you to get to the next level, you need to actually shed what you've just learned, shed who you've become to allow yourself to become someone else. You should go through this infinity symbol. And the secret to life is this point here, which is your dissonance point. This is what Rocky called dissonance point. So with your health, where are you? Are you here? With your relationships, are you here or here or here? With your career and money, where are you? Here, here, here. And what's the one thing that gets you moving? The questions you ask yourself. What question do you need to ask yourself here to reframe this to get you moving next quadrant? But if you're stuck here, how do you move into the next quadrant? If you're stuck here, how do you move next quadrant? And if you're stuck here, how do you jump off the S curve because you've achieved mastery to actually white belt mentality to keep on evolving into your next level of consciousness? Or have you just arrived and you stopped doing the things that you did? And so when you're here, there comes a point where it just doesn't make sense. You've learned, it's, you know what cognitive dissonance is, right? They're, like you're presented with so many facts, but you're still not accepting it because you believe a certain way. You're holding on to your old beliefs, your old ways, and you can't accept new ways. Old ways won't open new doors. You've got to ask yourself some questions. Because we know this, right? If nothing happens, nothing changes, nothing changes. You're always one decision away from a totally different life. And it's the questions that you answer that make the difference. So if you're ready to actually start attracting your destiny by the person that you've become, let's give you a little breakout. 10 minutes, guys. We're going to put you in a group of 3. I'm going to give you some questions. Now, take a snapshot of these questions because you can think about them and journal them yourself tonight. Maybe for the next 7 days. Just keep on writing these things. But you can start by sharing some stuff with each other. Here's the questions. You're going to love them. Answer these questions with each other. What are you grateful for in 2022? Not in 2021, in 2022. What is your biggest obstacle in 2022? How will you overcome it in 2022? Not what was your biggest obstacle in 2021. What is your biggest obstacle in 2020? How will you overcome it? What will you learn about yourself specifically in 2022? Tell me, what are you going to learn about yourself in 2022? This is pushing you forward, right? What will you learn about others specifically in 2022? How will your life change for the better in 2023 because of 2022? Are you choosing 2022 to be your year and why? And of course, what 3 action steps will you implement from today to create 2022 and even more grateful in 2023? Now, you may not get through all those questions, but you've taken a snapshot of those questions, guys. Take a snapshot. Let's put you in a quick breakout room. Let's see, we'll just put 3 people in a room. How many we got here? Breakouts. We'll give you 10 minutes and we'll come back and we'll wrap up. How's that sound, guys? Okay, welcome back, guys. How was that exercise? I know it was only 10 minutes, but did you get any value out of it? Thumbs up? Who wants to give us some feedback? Some feedback on that exercise.
The 2 legs covered all. It was really, really good. Whatever I was going to say, they said it. It was really good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marcia. So again, you've all got those questions. So I want you to journal them. I want you to think about them over the next 7 days. Because every time you come to them, I'm sure you have more awareness of them, and you're starting to do the conscious work. You're starting to live life consciously in the honeymoon period. And man, if you did this on a regular basis, wouldn't your life change? If you did this once a week, every Sunday night, your holy hour, look back at the week and ask those questions and make sure you become a better version of yourself the next day and stay connected to your mission self. Who else wants to? Let's get one more person with some feedback and so we can wrap up. Who wants to give us any feedback on that exercise? Anyone specific?
Question.
You got a question, Marcia? Yep.
Yeah, journal yourself is like write down in the morning everything you like your plans, how to do, and then check at night what you did and what you didn't do it.
Oh, look, the different ways of journaling. So if you did that, you can actually write down almost like a list in terms of what you want to be focusing on that day, and then review it at the end of the night. So did you do it or not do it, and what did you learn? That works well. Or you can just do one list that night. So you look back and say, where was I my best self? Where was I my less than best self? And how can I be better next time? And what did I learn? So
and you check like how you present yourself, whose work was your conscious mind or the unconscious mind? Was it the victim or the involved? You analyze who was work, sort of like that?
Yeah, you can think about where were you here? So today, which quadrant were you living in today?
Okay. Thank you.
And that could be awareness. And you can say that at the end of the week, you can say, okay, how many days was I in quadrant 4? How many days was I in quadrant 1? How many days was I in quadrant 3? And that can give you a good awareness in terms of as you're moving forward. Good stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. So as we get to the end of the night, how was the first session? This is our first masterclass. We've got 5 minutes to tell you what's coming up. But out of the whole night, who wants to tell me, let's go to one person, what's most valuable for you? What did you get out of this first masterclass for 2022? Let's go to someone that hasn't shared tonight so far. Let's go to Anu. Anu, what did you get out of today?
I love the quadrant, but I think the biggest and very impactful takeaway was the fear is the what if statement followed by the negatives. That was bang on.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So thank you. So if you start living what if with a positive, your life changes. Thank you so much, Anu, for that.
Thank you.
So guys, if you just give me 5 minutes, I just want to share with you how some of the things that we've evolved and what we're bringing to you in 2022. And obviously you got an option if you might choose to be part of all these new changes and these new programs. Some are part of our community. We'd like you to be part of it and just bring your friends and we can grow together and hold each other accountable as we create a community and a ripple effect of change. So you know that it's all about rising up as an authentic leader, as an influencer. And there's 3 key areas that we want to work on. This is a model that we've put together last year. You need to work on the person that you want to become, to work on yourself. You need to innovate on your craft and work on your craft and be able to master what it is that you've learned. And of course, you want to be able to have impact. So when you work on yourself, inspire others, when you innovate and you're actually leading your industry with your signature in terms of being a master at your craft and you're getting your message out there, then suddenly people are needing you because you're getting yourself out there, people are connecting with you, and you are unique. If you're not doing that, you're not unique, you're not needed, you're not connected, and they're the 3 human species indicators. That's how you become an influencer, that's how you become a leader. You know that model. You know this is our personal evolution journey. What's exciting, guys, we're going to be releasing this product. This can be part of the community. It's in our Evolve from the Inside Out Facebook group, and we're going to be bringing to you this product here. It's growthyself.com. If you go to that page yet, there's nothing there. We will have it up. I'm going to do a live in our group next week on Monday, introducing this product as an introduction, how it's going to run. But it's 52 ways to dramatically transform your life and break through to a new you. We're going to come to you every week. This is in our Facebook group. It's 52 weeks. We're going to come to you on a Monday, and we're going to give you a tip, a 10-minute live. What's one thing you can focus on this week? It might be health and wellness. It might be in personal self. It might be relationships. It might be about money in your career. So some people attempt to actually change overnight. They put a whole list of things they want to change, and okay, Monday I want to start doing everything. Monday's okay. Tuesday's sort of all right. Wednesday, they get to the end of the week and they think, oh, they stuffed up and they've done a quarter of the list. Lucy's laughing, she knows what I'm talking about, right? But what if you did it slowly? What if you did it bit by bit? What if you did step by step? What if you focus on one thing every week and you did 52 things by the end of the year? You think about that, 1% change is a huge change at the end of the year. So we're going to give you one tip every week alive. And then on the Thursday, we're going to come to you and maybe give a reflection, an affirmation, and something to ponder on and to journal. Then the following Monday, another tip, live. And then that following Thursday, the book club. So every fortnight will be a reflection, and every fortnight will be a book club, a book review. We'll give you the 2 books we're going to review in the beginning of the month. So you get a chance to buy them and read them. We can share. And I want to give you a summary every fortnight. So you're basically going to get 25 books, 25 reflection journal exercises and affirmations for you to ponder on to become the person, bring that into life, and the 52 things for you to focus on. And we're going to do this together. It's going to be streaming in our Facebook group, and we're putting it together in Kajabi, a back office membership, so you'll have access to it throughout the whole year, all the videos, all the worksheets, all the downloads. We've already got the PDFs for the whole year worked out. That's what's going to happen. So here's what we're doing with that. 52-week journey to grow thyself. Every week we'll post a live video. We said they're the areas we're going to focus on, reflections, a book summary, and it all goes in the community. That's what's coming to you guys. That's us being with you weekly, part of the community. And when you're ready, and if you're ready, look at what else we've got. So that's growthyself.com. It's going to launch 2nd of March. That's the next Wednesday we're coming to you. So on that Wednesday, that masterclass, we'll be sharing this stuff and launching it. This is a community, guys. You know our community. Get your friends to come there. As I said, you don't need to answer any questions. Just join and you're part of the group, right? Now, what's exciting? We've evolved our evolution product. This is our MBX Evolution. There's a whole new page. I want you to go to it. What we've been able to do, what we've done over the last 12 to 24 months, we've put together online programs and courses for you to access to be part of this. So here's what you get. You get 2 live masterclasses. Part of this is 2 of these every month. Like, this is live coaching, guys. Most of these masterclasses, people invest $300 for a masterclass. You're going to get an MBX cold card. So when we release new courses throughout the year, we released the Big Hurt last year with Magdalena. We've got a few more courses that we're going to be releasing this year. We're releasing the Smart Brain. We're releasing the Authentic Self. All these online courses are around the $400 mark. When you get a gold card, you'll be able to get, member prices on all these programs, plus a few other things that we're going to be working with some other providers in the industry where you'll be able to get, member prices on what they have. And of course, we got the Grow ThySelf program. That's part of the evolution. Now, when you join, you'll have access to 12 masterclasses we ran last year. Automatically, these are unlocked. They're ready to go. So if you want to get back into the recordings of all these things, confidence, forgiveness, the heart math, Michael Adamides, if you remember him, all these there, you'll have access to these masterclasses. You're going to get the high performance coaching. The 12 sessions that we did are all recorded. They're based on the high performance habits, the book they're written by Brendan Machard. You'll get a recording of our 2-day workshop. Some of you are part of it. Remember that 2-day workshop, Lucy? The Success Through Mastery? That's all online. People can do it again themselves at home and see Lucy break down on live on the videos, right? So that's there. And of course, Healing the Big Hurt, which is a great program that we put together and got some great feedback from some of you who did that, I've gone through that. Now that's what you get in our evolution, guys. It's quite exciting, all right? Don't worry, that slide's an old slide. This is normally going to be $47 a month. It's a monthly subscription, or a lifetime membership, $997. But you know what? Just go there and you can trial the whole thing for 30 days for $1. Go subscribe and you can have the whole thing. Check it all out just for $1. Right? Now, for people who have done our leadership program and invested in the NLP program, paid us what our leadership is this year, $3,000, they'll get lifetime membership. So if you've already done NLP with us and paid us that fee for NLP, get hold of us and we'll give you lifetime membership. If you've done mastery, if you're doing influencer, get hold of us, we give you lifetime membership. If you haven't done that, give it a trial for $1 and it's up to you whether you want to be part of it or not. That's your choice. The other things that we're doing next year is we've done the high performance coaching of the habits for everyone that's in leadership, regardless what offer. So if you've done NLP with us, we're going to let you know that we're going to be giving you these 12 group coaching. These are going to be live, 12 sessions on the charge, the 10 human drives, the conscious and unconscious drives. This is Brendon Burchard's other best-selling book. So these are another 12 group coaching sessions. Normally this coaching is around a $4,000 fee if you did it one-on-one. We're going to do it as a group. It's a live thing. We're going to be giving that to you for those who've done leadership. For those who are doing mastery, we're also bringing a nutrition program, a 5-day accelerated nutrition and wellness. So if you've already enrolled in mastery, the good news is you're getting that as a bonus. I know you're getting that as a bonus. It's a 5-day course in nutrition and wellness. So if you've already done mastery, you get this, right? Because what we want to do, right, we've now created a whole new product with the nutrition. You get a diploma of mind-body sciences and integrative wellness. And it's the only NLP diploma on the market which gives you training in integrative wellness and mind-body sciences. So it's NLP Master Prac, hypnosis, kinesiology, Chinese medicine, nutrition and wellness, marketing, and accelerated transformational coaching process, all the recordings of it. And that is happening this year. So we've lodged it with IICT, so it'll be all approved. Exciting stuff, guys. If you want to know dates, just take a picture of this screen. It's also on our website, MBX Wellness. Oh, sorry, not MBX. What am I saying? MBXinstitute.com. Go to the website under the schedule. These are the scheduled events. Now, all of these are virtual. We will run some of these as retreats. We'll be advertising some of these. The NLP that we're going to be doing in July. At this moment, July 9 to 13, I'm looking to do a 5-day retreat, a live event for that NLP. So if you've already done it, you can come to it. Well, yeah, stay tuned, we'll be letting you know. So my question to you is, are you ready for your future, guys? Because if you are, what we want you to do is we want you to give the evolution a go. So go and do your $1 trial so we know that that works. MBXevolution.com. If you're already upgraded to it, just connect with us and we'll set it up for you. To go and do your $1 trial, you're going to get everything unlocked straight away. It's only $1 for 30 days. And if you want more questions, there we go. We've got Christina Casanova in the middle there, so she's part of the crew now as well. So go to MBX Institute, MBX Coaching, and organise a call, and we can take it from there. Any questions, guys?
No, but it's nice to have you on the YouTube. Very nice. Very good. Thank you. Love it.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, because you can go over and over and over and over again. That's real cool.
Good. We just got to learn how to actually stop the streaming as opposed to have 2 videos now. So we've got 2 videos on YouTube. Because
yeah, guys, going to YouTube is worth it. It's cool.
All right. Thank you. So guys, as we wrap up, I want you to think about, you might be questioning, are you ready for your next step? I don't know what your step is for you. What I do know is whatever it is that you choose to do, the secret to getting it done is this: just start. I don't know what it is that you're going to start. You just need to start. You want to make a change in your relationship? Start being the person you need to be. What's the one conversation you need to have? The things that you're avoiding are the things that you want to actually move into. You know, think about it. If you're going to be a great coach and you're working with people, what's the one area that you're avoiding? Health, career, relationships, career, and money. What's the one area that you're avoiding the most? Because that's the one area that we're going to have to focus on, because that's where you're going to get the biggest change. Just start in that area, guys. whatever you need to do to get to your next level, you're only one decision away from a totally different life. I want to thank you for being here tonight. I want to congratulate you for giving us the time, 2 hours and a bit. We'll be back again on the 2nd of March, but stay tuned on our Facebook group. I'll be doing a live on Monday introducing the Grow ThySelf program, and just connect with us and we continue our journey together as we have been, and look forward to the 2022 being a better year than the year before, and setting up a foundation of even better years in the future. So again, thank you guys for your time. I'll play some music or say some good nights, and we'll see you when we see you. See you, everyone.